Welcome to Coors Field. After a brief 2-hour rain delay, we are set for interleague action. Game 2 of this 3-game set between the Rockies and the Tampa Bay Rays. And last night went swimmingly for the Rockies as they won 7-4. Swimmingly, I thought would be the appropriate term to begin the night.
I like it.
All of the rain. There was actually a 32-minute rain delay at the outset last night, and it worked out well for the Rockies. We welcome you upstairs, and what the rain delay allowed us to do is that I'm on page 331. What page?
176.
So I read a little faster, but we basically got the media guide done for the Tampa Bay Rays, and we know everything there is to know about the Tampa Bay Rays. For instance, there's a former Rocky that actually manages in the Appalachian League for the Rays.
Is it Shelton?
No, it's Danny Schaefer. Remember Danny Schaefer? He's before your time also. Okay, we got a little punchy there during the 2-hour rain delay, but we know this much. Tyler Chatwood is on the hill tonight for the Rockies, and that has always been a good thing. And this will be the third time out for Chatty since coming off the disabled list, but he got a little more rest with the All-Star break.
You know, when Chatty comes on and throws at Coors Field, the most important thing for Chatty, he's going to give up walks, but not give up the home runs. 6 home runs at home, none on the road. That's where all the runs are coming from. Pitch to the contact, and then you'll be out of the inning.
He's not given up a home run since May, home or away. Mark Stout has more on this encounter with Tampa Bay. Mark?
All right, guys, the disparity between the home and road numbers with Tyler Chatwood just didn't make any sense. So Steve Foster and Darren Holmes, they sat down with him. They changed something mechanically, but it wasn't his arm angle. Listen to what Steve Foster said they did with Tyler Chatwood.
It's a mental and visual. You know, it's changing where you're shooting for on the bullseye. So, you know, the way that you go about changing where you're going to shoot on the bullseye is done with your eyes. You refocus where you're going to throw the baseball, and so that's what he's doing.
There's one of those key words again, focus. So he's going to focus mentally with where he's going to throw the pitch. Again, nothing physically, guys. We'll have to watch this as the night goes on with Tyler Chatwood.
Well, I always look forward to watching him work. He's a bulldog on the mound, and he has just completed his warm-up pitches. You know you're going to see that two-seam fastball quite a bit. When Tyler's on, you see a lot of ground balls.
That last start before the break, look at the numbers. He could not find anything he could command. Had trouble locating his fastball, had trouble locating the slider, had trouble locating the curveball and the changeup. Wasn't a very good recipe for Tyler Chatwood the last start going into All-Star break. We talk about just changing the sights. We've seen it in the past. James Shields, I remember he came here and reestablished his curveball and changeup just by lowering him.
Logan Forsythe steps in, the second baseman for Tampa. Rockies put a shift on, and that fastball is up high, ball 1. And a swing and a miss. One and one. We're going to get a shot in a moment. You want to talk about a dramatic sky. This ball's lined down the line. That's a fair ball. Into that left field corner. It's going to be a double as Rayburn throws it back in. So Logan Forsythe, the leadoff double. And we now are officially underway. Look at those, that cloud structure and then the blue sky out in the distance. Wow.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. A little eerie, isn't it? Here's the Southwest batting order for Kevin Cash and the Rays tonight. Brad Miller wasn't in the lineup last night. He's got a lot of thump, the shortstop, with 15 home runs. Evan Longoria has been red hot. A couple of triples yesterday, a couple of home runs on Sunday. Corey Dickerson's in the starting lineup. He'll bat cleanup. Steve Pearce just off the DL will bat 5th, and then it's Kiermaier, Maley, Arcia, and the pitcher Blake Snell, and that pitch is in there for a strike to Brad Miller.
Miller came over to the Rays this offseason along with Logan Morrison from Seattle. He's been a nice addition for the Tampa Bay Rays. And you look at the roster for the Tampa Bay Rays, they have made so many moves over the last couple of years. You look at guys that they've acquired: Brandon Guyer, hit fourth for him last night. Chris Archer, Drew Smiley. You're a low-level market team, and you're able to make the moves with the limited payroll that the Tampa Bay Rays have made.
This is back up the middle. It'll move the runner, and Story throws out. Miller 1 out, and Forsythe to third. Here's a look at how the Rockies will align defensively. The one wild card each night has been left field. You've seen Rayburn quite a bit naturally. You'll see Barnes some, and Descalso of late. Barnes will give Cargo a day off. Cargo's just fine, but against the left-hander, Walt White's given him 24 hours off. Arenado, Story, LeMahieu, and Reynolds in the infield. Again, it's Nick Hundley doing the catching. Brandon Barnes virtually all of the time when he plays left field, but he's such a good outfielder. He's a good center fielder, and so he's over in right field tonight again for Carlos Gonzalez. Evan Longoria with 50 RBIs steps up. And on the knuckles, fouled off. The one thing about Chatwood, you know how successful he's been, particularly out on the road. And the league out on the road is hitting below 200 against him. But he's not a big strikeout guy.
And you typically don't see that often with a sinker ball pitcher. You look at sinker ball numbers in general, they'll have a higher walk rate and a lower strikeout rate.
The one pitch he'll throw to righties that he does get swings and misses on, that he doesn't throw much to lefties, is the slider.
And that was the pitch, and we've heard him talk about it. Here, Steve Foster mentioned it as well. Look at the numbers with 58.4%. That Tyler, the last pitch for him to feel was the feel of the slider after getting Tommy John.
And he went with a pitch down and away, and this was nicked by Longoria. Good location with that. 0-2 on the perennial all-star Evan Longoria. He was in the final 5 vote in the American League this year, was not selected, so he got some time off with his family. And there's the, ooh, he just did get a piece. I thought that was a swing and a miss. He headed to Orlando with the family to enjoy that part of the state. So many good things to do with the kids there.
His 2 children now, 3 and 1. It's always fun watching a person you've known for a long time become a father.
0-2, fouled off. He's also a bit of a rarity these days, Billy, in that he uses ash.
Yes, he does. He loves the feel of an ash bat. And when you look at an ash bat, you can tell it's ash just based on the grains. A lot of times when you look at a maple bat, it looks a lot clearer. You don't see the grains as much. And the reason I always liked using an ash bat was that you felt like it was a little bit more whippy. I'll explain it in a second.
Ground ball through the right side, which was vacated. It's a base hit and an RBI. So as the Rays did yesterday, they strike first in the top of inning number 1. 51st RBI for Longoria.
Well, there's times when the shift will help you, and there will be times that the shift hurts you. Get the ground ball out towards second base. See Tyler Chatwood's reaction. That is a normal out where DJ's at. Obviously, when you have a guy in scoring position that ends up scoring a run, you're not too happy. But when you look at it, even if DJ's at the normal position, it's still a run. A ground ball to second would score a run, except you didn't get the out this time.
Now here's Dickerson. He appeared last night as a pinch hitter. He struck out and then stayed in the ball game in left field, and he made an error out there. So perhaps some nerves with Corey returning to Coors Field. Splendid numbers for the Rockies, particularly at home. 354 average, 24 home runs, and 78 driven in his time playing at Coors Field. Longoria takes off. It's a hit and run, and it's fouled off. You don't expect to straight steal with Evan Longoria. Good athlete, but not a base stealer.
He's 30 years old with 2 children.
I don't know what the latter has to do with it.
Yeah, just because we were talking about it. Those numbers are amazing for Corey Dickerson. 354 batting average, the 24 home runs, 78 RBIs. Pretty much coined the phrase to wake up Christmas morning and get a hit.
One of the adjustments in talking to Dickerson has been, and he said up front, and I want to reiterate this, that he said this is not an excuse. I mean, he's just adjusting to a new league, and that's why the batting average is down. But he said it's been also a bit of an adjustment to playing half your games indoors because of the lighting. And the only time the Rockies typically play an indoor game is the 9 or 10, depending on the season, that they play inside at Chase.
And there's something to be said about that. I never experienced the having to hit in the dome too often. As you mentioned, only a couple times a year when you go play the Diamondbacks or the Houston Astros, the Brewers.
Both the times this year with Arizona, the roof was open so far.
But the difference between those stadiums and Tampa Bay is Tampa Bay's dome is white. And Corey was mentioning as well, another adjustment he's had to make. He's a DH. He has been a DH in the American League and trying to figure out the routine. What do I do in between bats? He felt like he was doing too much. Then he didn't feel like he was doing enough.
He was talking to Troy Tulowitzki about adjusting to the lighting, playing indoors, because of course Tulo's playing at the Rogers Center. Different facility. It feels more modern.
Yeah,
in there, doesn't
yeah,
it?
you're right.
At the Rogers Center. One, two, and Dickerson on the ground to Reynolds. There's one. And there's two. 3-6-3 gets Chatwood off the field. But a leadoff double by Logan Forsythe and ultimately a base hit by Longoria has given the Rays a 1-0 lead. He'll be the only left-handed bat in the lineup tonight as the Rockies are facing another lefty in Blake Snell. And here's the Southwest batting order on a Tuesday night for Walt Weiss. DJ LeMahieu will bat second. Then it's Nolan Arenado. Trevor Story will slide up to the cleanup spot with Cargo watching initially. Ryan Rayburn 5. Mark Reynolds had 3 hits last night. He'll bat 6. Nick Huntley a sac fly yesterday. He'll bat 7th. Brandon Barnes off the bench with an RBI single. He'll bat 8th. And then the good hitting pitcher Tyler Chatwood against the top prospect among pitchers in the Rays organization. Last year he was the minor league player of the year, not just in Tampa's organization, baseball wide by Baseball America and USA Today.
Amazing. He had a 1.41 ERA between 3 levels last year, and that was the best since 2005 with Justin Verlander. Had a little bit below that. Big fastball, has a great curveball, except we're curious. We heard that he may not use the curveball as much tonight, throwing the occasional slider and changeup as well.
Well, that looked an awful lot like a curveball. He may call it a slider. Whatever it was, it had significant action on it, and it's 0-2.
Last night, Drew Smyly, in his start, we couldn't tell. And even members of the Tampa Bay Rays coaching staff, they couldn't tell if he was throwing changeups, sliders.
And on 3 pitches, he strikes out Blackmon.
That to me looked like a filthy curveball.
No, a hard curveball. There's DJ coming up. Tampa defensively has Corey Dickerson in left field, Kevin Kiermaier, who's outstanding, as I'm sure you're aware, in center field. Oswaldo Arcia, he's in right, the former Minnesota Twin. Longoria, Miller, Forsythe, Steve Pearce at first base, and Luke Maile against behind the plate. That's a called strike on the inside corner. DJ hitting .379 at home. That's the best home average in the league. Hit a double last night. Look out. The double for DJ was his 33rd extra base hit of the year. He's 22 doubles. And that is noteworthy as you see the home batting averages. Carr goes 3rd on the list. Ian Desmond, we'll see him shortly. He's having a great year with Texas. Big Papi at Fenway is hitting .363, but the 33 extra base hits is a new career high already, and it's July the 19th. 32 last year. Big chopper to Miller, and he gets enough on the throw to get LeMahieu. You know, DJ's never going to have great times going up the first base line. Underway, DJ runs, you know, slightly, probably a tick better than average, but he always spins out. You noticed that, haven't you, Spilly?
It was the same way as I hit. When I was, you hit the ball opposite field, your feet almost get tangled up. And part of the reason why is you're allowing your hands to pull through the zone, your bat's lagging, and it almost feels like you get tangled up because you're not hitting the ball so much in front that you stay on your backside a lot longer.
This is on the ground to short, and the long throw will get Nolan. So it's a 1-2-3 beginning for Blake Snell. 1-0 Tampa. Out on Drew Goodman. As we go to the top of the second, it'll be Steve Pearce, who's missed the last month with a hamstring injury. Just came back today to face Tyler Chatwood. It's a Tuesday. That means we're handing over our Twitter account to a special guest. It's former Rocky Roger Bailey. Had a really nice big league career. Good time with Colorado and stayed in town. And we'll kick it off. I know Roger's been working the Twitter account during the rain delay. We appreciate him hanging tough tonight. This is right back to the second baseman, DJ LeMahieu, 1 out. Roger, are you playing more or less than 5 rounds of golf a week?
I'm going to take the over, I think.
It may be. Here's Roger. Got
Sit
Barry
down,
Bonds
Barry.
there, yeah.
And Gary Sheffield.
He just picked out the big boys, huh? No messing around.
Can you name that last one? I can't.
Kind of looked like Gregor Blanco, but you know Roger's like 30 years older than Gregor, so
I think it's Armando Rios.
is that who it was?
I think so.
This is on the ground to DJ again. 2 outs. That retires Kiermaier. It's good advice when you come out to pitch after a delay. Keep your routine. Still have to perform. No excuses. Hitters don't care. No. Card game breaks up. They say, hey, we're going to play ball.
Yeah, you just have to wipe the mustard off on your jersey from the hot dog you probably ate.
I have a new nickname, by the way, for Doug.
What is it?
Well, I'll tell you in a second. Luke Mailey's at the plate. He takes inside. One and one. Good pitch. 1 and 2. I have a new nickname for Dougie.
What is it?
Well, it's based on what was it you told me the story during the rain delay?
About how he swallowed a hot dog?
Oh, no, it was Huey.
Huey told us.
Yeah, Huey was downstairs with Doug. And they're talking, and he just finished putting the condiments on his hot dog. Doug did. Huey turned away to look at the television for a second. He turned back. The hot dog was gone already. So his new nickname is Kobayashi.
Nice. That's it. I think there's Chestnut is another guy that's really good at it.
We could have gone with Joey Chestnut, but we thought that we'd go with Kobayashi because that's in deference to your time playing in Japan as well.
Yeah, I like the Kobayashi.
Mailey hanging in there. It's 2 and 2.
The other day, there was a conversation on my Twitter account about disgusting toppings people were putting on their hot dogs. I heard people drop nacho cheese, syrup was one.
That was gross.
Mayonnaise, because it all started with George Frazier with the mayonnaise.
This ball's lifted to fairly deep left field. Rayburn's got a play. And that'll end the second inning. 2 ground balls to second and a fly ball to the warning track in left. Middle of 2. 1-0 Tampa. Back with more from Kobayashi in a moment.
Thousand Island.
to you by the 2016 Toyota Tundra and your hometown Toyota stores. And by Southwest Airlines, transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. It's drizzling a little bit again. Looks worse when we take that kind of shot, but
yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not as bad as that shot would indicate. Rockies trailing 1-0. They went in order in the first against Blake Snell. In his last outing before the break against the Angels, was probably the best performance of his brief big league career. Struck out 7 in 6 innings. He still took the loss, but he was pretty effective against the Angels. The Braves just didn't get anything done offensively. Story batting cleanup tonight, takes ball 1. Trevor hit a 2-run home run last night, his 22nd of the year. It's a strike. Second time this year that Story has been in the cleanup spot. Here's the home run from yesterday. Drew Smyly kind of hung a slider.
They're not sure what that pitch was. They still, like I mentioned before, they weren't sure what Drew Smyly was throwing last night as far as secondary pitches. They all looked the same.
Yeah, I heard that from a couple of Rockies today. They were expecting to see Cutter. They never really saw Cutter. They were expecting to see that good curveball. Never saw curveball from Smyly. There are some who believe on the Rocky side that Tampa, who never comes here, has like outthought themselves because they're like they were coming to altitude, and they had like
works.
Yeah, we had this whole new game plan. 2-2.
You see Roger Bailey saying ban the shift. You know, there's been a couple pitchers in baseball we'll probably end up talking a little bit more about. But Clayton Kershaw is one of the guys that looked to his Dodger teammates and said, would you please stop shifting?
Clayton Kershaw tells you if he positions you, that's where you play, right?
And I heard a great story. Jerry Harrison Jr., he's now a Dodgers analyst, and he was playing with the Arizona Diamondbacks. And Curt Schilling would move every single player on the field. He would move Jerry Harrison a step to his right when he was playing second base, and he said one time Curt Schilling moves him over, next pitch, one hop right, hit him in the chest.
Ball 4. So after being ahead 1-2, Story earns a trip to first, and the Rockies have the leadoff man on in a 1-run game, and that'll bring up Ryan Rayburn. Folks, when the Rockies score 7 runs or more, as they did yesterday, I hope you partook in this. Go, you're participating. Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special with Moss at Taco Bell. So good speed at first. Get a look perhaps at the move of Snell. Guides that fastball over the inside corner at 93. He looks like he's 14 years old out there, doesn't he?
He really does look young. I read a story as we mentioned, we had the chance to look through the media guide. Snell, his junior year, his mom homeschooled him because he wasn't taking school seriously. So she threatened him with homeschooling and held up her end of the bargain.
Said, Mom, I throw 95.
She kept him back.
Good for her. Rayburn didn't have any hits yesterday, but he got robbed when he hit an absolute missile on one hop at Evan Longoria's first time up. And he went. So a strikeout of Rayburn, and that'll bring up Mark Reynolds. 2 strikeouts in the early going for Blake Snell. Reynolds came into the ballgame yesterday in a little bit of a tailspin, 0 for 15, and he threw out 3 knocks last night. And for Reynolds, he also had his 40th RBI of the season. In fact, the one time they were able to get him out, it took a special play by Logan Forsythe. Otherwise, Reynolds would have had a 4 for 4 ball game. Outside. Home plate umpire is Clint Fagan tonight. Paul Emmel is at first. Bob Davidson out of Littleton, Colorado's in second, and Dan Iasonia is the crew chief, and Dan's down in third. An effective move by Snell, and you say, how do you know that? He hasn't thrown over, because each time that he's lifted his leg, it's been a tough read for Trevor Story, and he's worked back to the bag.
Every single time he's taking a step back towards the bag, waiting to see what the pickoff will look like.
The dirt, no advance.
Oftentimes when you see a hitter swing 2-0 at a pitch in the dirt, it tells me two things. Number one, he's not picking up the baseball, so he's guessing, and Reynolds was guessing fastball in a 2-0 count. Just lets me know that he's cheating on the fastball. And so far what we've seen with Blake Snell is his arm's electric. The ball is popping out of his hands.
Easy heat.
Easy cheese.
This is a fly ball to Kiermaier in center. We'll bring up Nick Hundley. Tampa does not have a long list of marquee names. When they take roll call, America's looking on. People know Evan Longoria, and then they're searching for Wikipedia to find out info on most of these guys for Kevin Cash. But one thing they've always been able to do is produce pitching, and they're putting together a nice semblance of young pitchers. That's how they've won division titles in the sticky American League East. That's why under Joe Maddon, in a relatively short tenure, they went to 4 postseasons, won a pennant. We talked about it last night. We're in the World Series in '08. Lost to the Phils in that October Classic.
They had a stretch where they had James Shields, Matt Garza, Scott Kazmir as their 3 guys. And then over time, you had David Price. And in order for the Tampa Bay Rays to stay moving forward, they had to trade them. They had to trade the Matt Garzas, the James Shields. And in return, you get players like Drew Smyly. They get players that allow them to compete.
Let's be honest, Andrew Friedman on a shoestring budget did such a phenomenal job there. Personally, he parlayed it into maybe the most lucrative general manager job now in baseball with the LA Dodgers. They got like 8 general managers there, but they all work under Andrew Friedman. And it's because he made so many savvy deals. I'll tell you another guy that they moved along was Jason Hamill. Hamill was a 10th round pick who made good. Shields was a 16th round pick who made really good as well. You know, Jason Hamill's doing a great job for Joe Maddon once again, now in Chicago with the Cubs. They like their young pitching staff, and it is always young. 1-2, 2-2. In fact, tonight is the 329th consecutive game that Tampa Bay has started a pitcher under the age of 30. It's the longest current streak in the big leagues.
And if you're curious how the Tampa Bay Rays got Blake Snell, he was a sandwich pick in 2011 along with Trevor Story during that time frame.
Story takes off, and the throw's not going to get him. He was there for a while, and he finally went first move, and Story is in scoring position with 2 outs. That's his 7th stolen base.
Well, after leading off the inning with a walk, Trevor had seen enough. Taking an opportunity to steal second base. First move, does not hesitate, slides in feet first. Looks like Kevin Cash is going to check it out.
I hate this. This has got to change. It's the old, this is going to be the bounce play. Watch this. He's going to bounce off the bag. He's there. And they're going to see if there was no contact for an instant while the tag was still on him, which was not the original intent of the rule. They're going to ask him to look at it.
Yeah, the spirit of the rule is not, it was never intended for a position player to slide off the base. And then with the slow motion cameras that are available, I think he's out.
He's out. He's going to be called out because for that instant before the hand got on the bag again.
Yep.
You know what? I think Trevor knows
Trevor
it.
knew it.
It's a shame because he swiped the bag by a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would put verbiage in that would change this back, though. I think they'll mess with the neighborhood play again to reinsert that, because that's protecting the infielders. That's what they wanted to protect, the middle infielders. And now having the middle infielder have to stay in contact with the bag.
The neighborhood rule, yeah.
I think they'll go back to that. It's been around for so long. I don't know how you would change this, though. The only thing you can hope in New York is they don't see it as definitive. You know, is that inside spike perhaps still in contact? No. Rockies lose that, and it'll go as a caught stealing, and it'll wipe out the 7th stolen base for Story. It'll end the inning 1-0 as we go to the 3rd. Tampa. Nine and 1 for the Rays. Here's our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms. How about this? The last time through the rotation for the Rockies, every member of the rotation went at least 6 innings. And with the exception of last night, everybody gave up 3 runs or less. And Tyler Anderson,
That counts.
You know, he had given up just 1 run on 2 hits.
That counts for
going into the 7th inning. Anderson, I thought, was terrific again yesterday. Combined .312 ERA. We've talked a lot about this. The Rockies need to take advantage of how well this starting rotation's doing. In July, they're 6 and 8 despite the rotation throwing great baseball. That pitch misses inside. It's 2-0 on a guy with big power, Oswaldo Arcia. There's Anderson. Cutter. A little bit in. It's 3-0.
Arcia, 1 for his last 23. That one was a home run.
And a 4-pitch walk to lead off the 3rd inning with the pitcher Snell coming up. And Blake's wandering up to the plate. And he said, I haven't been here in a while. How long? High school. Last AB was in high school for Blake Snell. An American League organization, doesn't hit in the minor leagues, and this is his first interleague encounter.
He's about to bunt. Even better.
Yeah, this isn't going to be real comfy for him. At least he knew which direction to run.
That's right. You run towards first. And I've never had an issue with Tyler Chatwood having walks. That's part of the deal whenever you're a sinker ball pitcher. You saw with Aaron Cook. And what allows him to get away with the walks is his ability to induce double plays. Chatwood this year, 5th in baseball with 14 double plays.
Got any ideas, Billy, real quick, on how to change that rule when a guy? It's one thing if he completely overslides the bag and he's past the bag,
I would
but
give
where
him
there's
less
just
time.
like a bump.
I would give him less time to look at it.
So you can still challenge it, but it's.
Yeah, they have.
Are you 5 seconds ready to go?
20 seconds.
I don't know about that. You're gonna look. You're gonna look properly.
Yeah, but they're going to dissect it, so I might as well just speed up the process. Let's go. Sure, there's one camera angle at you just get it. You can see he's off the base for 1/10 of a second.
So there's the strikeout of Snell.
I knew that was coming.
Yeah, you can't say that was a shock. So we asked Roger how often he's been playing golf. Is it more than 5 times a week? Why do I get strokes? Heck no, Roger. What are you kidding me? We're working hard every night. Spilly and I love to play. Huey and I love to play. But we're working hard while you're out there lowering your handicap to the plus side.
Practicing. We don't get practice rounds.
Right. Come on. He actually, this ball's lined left, and it's going to run all the way to the corner. Arcia doesn't run great. He's going to get a green light, and a poor throw by Rayburn on the relay, and it's 2-0 on a double by Logan Forsythe. He's got 2 doubles, and the Rays are up 2-0 on Tyler Chatwood. Ryan was not able to hit Story in the chest with the throw. It bounced and moved him to the right on the relay. I think they might have had a shot on Arcia otherwise.
Logan Forsythe just drops the hands down on a 2-seamer, and Nolan reaching up, trying to grab it, doesn't quite pick it up in time. Rayburn, you see him do a double take. Oh, and Arcia tosses the helmet off. Always enjoy a good helmet toss. Forsythe's a good player. Last year, ranked 2nd in all second basemen in baseball with a 5.1 WAR. See the double clutch for Ryan trying to get the baseball, and obviously if you spike the baseball to Trevor Story, it doesn't make it very easy to make the relay throw home.
2-1 on Brad Miller. Now Logan Forsythe has been really solid, and he won an award today that is given to each player, one player I should say, in each organization. It's called the Heart and Hustle Award, and it's voted upon by former players. It's really prestigious, and he won it for Tampa today, and that's for commitment, for hard work, for grit, guys who just play the game the right way. So it's a great honor for Logan Forsythe. He's got a pair of doubles today, and the Rockies award winner is Charlie Blackmon, which is a great honor for Charlie. This ball's ripped to center field. Long run for Charlie. It's over his head, and it's going to be 3-0. Back-to-back doubles. Brad Miller drives in Forsythe.
Nice swing by Brad Miller. Gets a pitch that he can handle. See the middle mislocation. The ball was hit hard to center field. Charlie giving chase. See the speed of Logan Forsythe.
Now you have Evan Longoria. So once again, Tyler Chatwood struggling at Coors Field.
Came into today's game with 47 1/3 innings pitched at home, 56 hits. Same amount of walks, 18 as he did on the road, but only 31 hits on the road and 48 innings pitched.
This is crushed. And now it is 5-0. That is up on the concourse from Evan Longoria, his 22nd of the year. This thing's gotten ugly in a hurry.
That makes 20 home runs now for Evan Longoria against right-handed pitching.
First home run that Chatwood has allowed in a couple of months.
That's a nice swing. See the barrel get straight through the baseball. One hops onto the concourse. You often hear me say, that's what you're supposed to do with that pitch. That's exactly when you have a BP fastball out over the heart of the part of the plate to a good hitter. Needs to be hit.
Last home run he'd allowed was to Yoenis Cespedes on May 15th here at Coors Field. Five runs on 5 hits. We're in the 3rd inning. There's a strike on Dickerson. 1 out. And this is a broken bat blooper. It's going to drop for Dickerson for a base hit. Going back to the work of Evan Longoria, not only tonight but the last couple of days, he became the first player in quite some time to hit 2 home runs in a game and then the next day have 2 triples in a game. The last player to do it was Larry Walker of the Rockies back in May of 1996. How about that?
Some elite company.
See if the Rockies are not going to turn it. Maybe they'll get one. Nolan will. Great play by Nolan as he gets Pierce at first. So Dickerson to scoring position with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Kevin Kiermaier.
Nolan making a great play behind his pitcher, Tyler Chatwood, leaving his feet, checking second base to see if he had an opportunity to maybe even get the lead runner. Making a strong throw to first base. You look at the last 3 hits that Tyler Chatwood has given up and the exit velocity off of them, just because we like to see that now. Logan Forsythe, 105 miles an hour. Brad Miller's baseball, 104 miles an hour. Longoria is 108.
Those were well struck. Longoria now 4th in the American League with 48 extra base hits. Big Papi leading. He's got 57. Got to get Kiermaier here. 1-1. Rocky shift. Yeah, the one thing about the shifts are that the pitcher has to pitch to him.
You hear contrasting arguments about it.
This one may be playable for Nolan. It's going to be a tough play, and he can't make it.
Sometimes you'll hear pitching coaches talk about just pitch. Throw how you throw, and the reason why the fielders are back there is because we have stats and numbers and a large sample size of where the guy, his tendencies to hit the baseball. So just pitch. And there's other times where see the way the shift is at right now with Trevor Story on the right side of second base. you're not going to be throwing baseballs soft outside where he can push the ball opposite field.
It's in the dirt, 3-2. And this ball's lined to the corner and right. Another run will come home. Kiermaier has doubled in Dickerson, and it is 6-0. And it's just maybe one of those days that, as good as Tyler Chatwood has been, he just doesn't have it.
And you can see with how hard the balls are being hit off of Tyler Chatwood. Mislocation again. Trying to throw that fastball up. Kiermaier beats him to the spot. Missing up in the zone, even with the great movement that Tyler Chatwood has. Big league hitters are going to make you pay.
Ninth man to hit here in the third innings, the catcher Maley. That's high, ball one. Ball's in the air to shallow left center. Rayburn comes on and makes the catch. That'll end the inning. 5 runs in the third for Tampa. Evan Longoria hit one up on the concourse, 6-0.
Nothing Tampa Bay. Spilly was talking about how Blake Snell was a sandwich pick of the Tampa Bay Rays, and I went back and looked. He is here because of a former Rocky, Brad Hopp. When the Rockies released Hopp, he signed with Tampa Bay. He was there briefly, and then in that offseason, he signed with San Diego. So the Rays got a sandwich pick at 52, and they picked Blake Snell. Now, let me show you in 2011 a few sandwich picks late in that draft that are noteworthy. And you also mentioned Trevor Story is in there. You see Jackie Bradley Jr., 40th for the Red Sox. Michael Fulmer was taken by the Mets. He's now with Detroit. Story at 45, Snell at 52, and then Jace Peterson even late by San Diego, now with Atlanta at 57. So Brad Hopp has a connection to Blake Snell, guys.
That's an interesting story, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Pitch misses. It's 1-1. Nick Hundley back at the plate, hitting .300 over his last 8 games. He was at the plate when Trevor Story stole second, then had the bag taken away on review, and he kind of bounced in the air ever so slightly, and the tag was still on his back. 2-1. Well, it's one of those days where you got to slowly chip away. Don't expect to get 6 back in one fell swoop. Be nice if that happened, but get a run here, a couple there, and get back in it somehow. It's a real tardy swing on a 2-1 pitch, which tells you how much life that fastball has.
There's a lot of life. Thanks for that, Brad Hop. You look at the fastball, it explodes up in the zone. He's throwing the secondary pitches, the changeup off of it. And we've seen the curveball already. It's an excellent curveball.
Big on the single-digit number on Snell for the Rays. Used to be no back in the day. Paul Egan's would never let me wear number 4, and it's the lowest number ever worn by a pitcher for Tampa. Strikeout. That's the first out of the inning as Hundley goes down. First pitcher in Rays history to don a single digit. Hideo Nomo came the closest. He was with them, if you recall, back in 2005, and he wore number 11.
Snell wore number 11 all throughout the minor leagues. And when Logan Forsythe was traded to Tampa Bay, Forsythe took number 11. And Snell, number 4, was his favorite number growing up. So he said, all right, I'll be number 4.
Rockies have a guy in single digits, sort of.
Zero. Does 0 count as a single? Yeah.
Single digit, right?
What about double 0? Still a single digit?
Jim Otto. And I think that's the first guy I think of. Brandon Barnes at the plate.
But double 0 is not a number. It's still 2 digits, but it's 0.
And that takes us back to the, was it the USF? No, it wasn't the USFL. What was the league after the USFL?
The XFL?
The XFL. He hate me.
Yeah.
That was your favorite player in the XFL, wasn't it? He hate me.
There's a lot of favorite players in the XFL. I enjoyed the XFL.
Whoever that guy was, I can't remember his real name. He hate me actually played in the NFL.
Played in the NFL. He was a good player.
1-2. And Barnes stays alive. I walked out with Brandon and his beautiful family last night, his wife and his 2 little girls, and Brandon's laughing. He goes, see, this is what I get. His little girls are adorable, and I think they're like 4 and 2.
Yep.
And his oldest said, Daddy, did you hit a home run? You didn't hit a home run tonight. He said, no, but I got a base hit, drive in a run. Said, you need to hit a home run tomorrow. And then the little one said, you need to hit 2. And then it went from there. Next thing you know, it had to be 4. And Brandon said, well, that'd be a record. you never please your kids enough, right?
You can never please them enough.
2-2 on the barnyard. Second start in right field this year for Brandon. And there's another strikeout. That's number 4. For Blake Snell.
Exploding fastball. The Super Suites Conference Center at Coors Field is available for game day or non-game day meetings. Groups of 25 to 200 will enjoy the views of the city.
Tyler Chatwood at the plate. While Tyler is at the plate, Jordan Lyles is throwing in the bullpen. There's some nights where it's just not your night, and it may be one of those situations for Tyler, who's been so good this year. He's been barreled up tonight. He's been in upside down counts. 2-0.
Looking up some of the old XFL rules. Did you know instead of a coin toss, they threw a football on the ground and they made them wrestle for it?
Yeah, I do remember that.
We called it the human coin toss.
1-2-3, third inning for Snell. Tampa's up 6-0. of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. Well, we were talking about Clayton Kershaw earlier, and he threw a sim game, and then he was shut down today by the Dodgers, and they said basically, we're not going to advance him any further until he has absolutely no back pain. And he has not pitched since facing the Pirates on June the 26th. And that is clearly not good news for the Dodgers, for Clayton Kershaw. It's bad for baseball. You know, I know the Dodgers are in the Rockies division. It's bad for baseball. You're talking about the best pitcher on the planet.
It's not even close. Last year, it starts with Clayton Kershaw. The Dodgers were 7 games over 500. This year, 12 games over 500 in Clayton Kershaw starts. The rest of the staff, 2 games under 500.
Tyler Chatwood knows all about having back issues. That's why he went on the DL. Line shot, and that's going to scoot into the outfield, and it'll be a base hit for Arcia. This is the hardest I've seen Chatwood hit all year.
I don't think I've seen him ever get hit this hard, and they're comfortable at bats for the Rays. They're just waiting for a pitch over the middle and up.
Remember George Frazier used to say this frequently from a reliever's perspective, Spilly, that if you were called upon 60 times a year, I don't care who you were, you know, 12 to 15, 10 to 15, somewhere in there, even in a great season, weren't going to be good. You just weren't going to have it. And you're going to try to battle and all that, but you're probably going to get nicked up.
Sure.
And if you're going to take the baseball 32, 33 times as a starting pitcher, they're not all going to be great, and there's going to be 1 or 2 clunkers, and tonight just may be one of those evenings for Chatwood.
The velocity's there, the stuff is there, it's the location. The location has been up, and it's been too much over the plate.
2-1 on Blake Snell. You're watching Blake Snell try to bunt his first time up. Looks like they've at least abandoned that for the moment with a 6-run lead. They may have instructed him not to swing at all. It's 3-1. Question will become, I mean, if Tyler loses Snell, maybe forcing Walt's hand. Snell swings 3-2.
Just on that swing right there, the location, Tyler missed location by over a foot. Nick Hundley had to reach all the way inside to grab it.
I always say, Spilly, this is why starting is really agonizing, because if you have a rough start, you have to wait, you know, 5 days to get the baseball again. And he just walked Snell, and now there's runners at first and second, nobody out. And it's early enough in the game with your offense where you feel like you got a shot to come back. And here comes Walt.
And for Chatwood through the last day before All-Star break, you get the extended 4 days off for the All-Star break, and then he was the 5th starter. That's 9 days. Maybe he felt too strong today. But whatever it was, Tyler Chatwood did not have it tonight.
Back in a moment, 6-0 Tampa. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Subaru. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. After a 2-hour rain delay, things have not gone well for the Rockies. They're down 6-0 to the Rays in game 2 of a 3-game set. And Tyler Chatwood, a short outing. He's gone after 3+. Gave up a single to Arcia, the 8th place hitter, and then he walked Blake Snell, who has not hit since high school. It's first and second, and he gives way to Jordan Lyles. Here with nobody out in the 4th inning, Logan Forsythe already up for the 3rd time. He has 2 doubles and he scored 2 runs.
Lyles has yet to work the second half of the season for the Rockies. His last outing was against the Philadelphia Phillies on July the 9th, where he threw 3 innings. Earned a save in that game.
He obviously is now the de facto long guy for the Rockies. His first pitch is in there for a strike. Mentioned yesterday that the difference between Atlanta and Tampa, and both teams have really had tough years. Atlanta has the worst record in baseball, and Tampa has the 4th worst record in baseball. That's inside 1-1. But I said this offense is still pretty dangerous. Their slugging percentage is 13 in baseball, whereas Atlanta offensively, unless Freddie Freeman is hot, they really don't present a bunch of guys that make you shiver. But in this lineup, Logan Forsythe's a big league hitter. You got Brad Miller on deck. He's got 15 home runs. Longoria, his name speaks for itself. You know, Corey Dickerson, we know how he can hit. Steve Pearce has been a long-time big leaguer with Pop. So they have pieces in their lineup. Broken bat roller to short, and the Rockies turn it over.
They're 7th in baseball with home runs, the Tampa Bay Rays, with 122, and if long goes tonight, that's 123 home runs. Big double play for Jordan Lyles. It's always strange when you see these shifts and you're watching the middle infielders in Trevor Story and DJ LeMahieu working their footwork where they're not, it's not the normal spots for some of these guys to stand.
Well, you know, for DJ, you're almost approaching it vertically as opposed to running to your right to that back corner and getting your left foot on the back corner. You're running straight at it, and then you have to turn your body, you know, more significantly to receive the throw from the left side. They're so gifted athletically, and they make it look so easy, but that took practice, because their whole careers at every level, that's not how you had done it.
All throughout spring training, Stu Cole would set up the infielders in a shift and work on the different spots, and based on that, DJ was standing, you can see where he's standing. He's standing on the other side of second base, normally where a shortstop is, and having to run back. Trevor giving the flip. That's not a normal turn for these infielders.
I'll tell you, you're used to finish what you're saying, Spill, you're used to, as a second baseman, being able to get the right spike in the ground to drive yourself back toward first. There's no way, coming also from the left side, that DJ could do that. This ball's lined to center field, shallow, and was the catch made? Nope. It was a trap by Blackmon, and Brad Miller's single will drive in Arcia with the 7th run for Tampa Bay. Great effort by Blackmon.
Ball wasn't squared up too well by Brad Miller, and you see the little late jump for Charlie Blackmon. And it wasn't late by much, but just enough that he's not able to make that play. Great effort. See on the Subaru Supermo how he traps the baseball.
And now Longoria, single and an RBI in the first, and a 2-run bomb to left up on the concourse. His next at bat.
It was loud as soon as he hit it. Longo knew it. Chatwood knew it.
One more home run than Evan hit all of last year. That's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Tampa Bay tonight 5 for 8 with runners in scoring position.
They have 9 hits. The Rockies don't have a hit.
And all their hits have come with damage.
This is a team that's 4-25 their last 29 games. And coming into tonight, have lost 11 in a row on the road. Which is the 3rd worst stretch in their history out on the road. It's the worst in Major League Baseball this year. It's inside 3-1. Longest in their club's history was their 5th year on the field, 2002, when they lost 13 in a row. 3-1 on Longoria, and that's right to where DJ's playing. And he throws out Longoria to end the inning. Another run charged to Tyler Chatwood. It's 7-0. A 7-0 Tampa Bay, but there's a lot of time left. Bottom of the 4th inning, the Rockies will take their 2nd look at Blake Snell. Charlie Blackmon leading it off. Charlie yesterday produced a base hit, and now he has a 10-game hitting streak. It's his 3rd 10-plus game hitting streak of the season. 5th player in the big leagues this year with such a streak. 20th in Rockies history. The last to do it, our old friend Jordan Pacheco in 2012 with the Reds earlier this year. The most in a season by a Rocky, Larry Walker and EY both had 5 different stretches in one season where they produced 10-plus hits. EY did it in 2002. Actually, EY did it in '98. Walker did it in 2002. 2-strike count on Blackmon. 1-2. Charlie struck out his first time on a hard-breaking ball.
First time through the lineup, hitters are hitting 229 off Snell. 2nd time through 271. 3rd time through 346.
Two and two.
He throws primarily that fastball. He's been sitting up in the zone with it. Getting a lot of chases.
Three and two. Rockies had 12 hits last night in their victory over Tampa, and the Rays had just 6. Back up the middle, and the Rockies have their first knock of the ball game, and Charlie's got an 11-game hitting streak. Let's check in with Mark downstairs. Mark?
So, Drew, the question I asked Charlie Blackmon is, how do you prepare for an American League team not knowing the pitchers? And he said, well, before every series, he looks at the pitchers of the opposing team, spends 3 to 10 minutes on each guy, depending on whether he knows them or not. And he's got a black book. Something like this. This is a 3-ring binder one. I got this one today, a little prop. And he keeps notes. That's how he studies the game. So if it's a team in the NL, particularly the NL West, he adds to his notebook, to his binder. If it's a team he may not see, he takes notes and he moves on. But that's what Charlie Blackmon does to be a good hitter. He's got his black book.
Well, he is going to be prepared physically, mentally, and from a study standpoint every game. It's just who he is. So Charlie with a leadoff single in the 4th, LeMahieu at the plate. Other guys this year with 3 10+ game hitting streaks. Jose Altuve, what a player he is. Yeah. Dustin Pedroia, he's pretty good, former American League MVP. Anthony Rizzo, he's pretty good. Jonathan Schoop, who we'll see next week. Good player with Baltimore, second baseman.
A lot of second basemen doing good stuff this year.
Yeah, and Charlie, those are the 5. So look at it. Altuve, second baseman. Pedroia, second baseman. Schoop, second baseman. This guy's a second baseman. Two-strike count.
Snell has been pounding the zone against the Rocky hitters. Shown no signs of fear pitching at Coors Field. Body confidence, carries himself really well on the mound.
The next time somebody buys him a razor will be the first razor he'll have to own. One and 2. Against the Angels, he started really commanding his fastball better. Through first pitch strikes to 17 out of 24 in that outing against the Angels, his last time out prior to the break. How about in the minor leagues? He had a 46-inning scoreless stretch last year.
That's really good.
I don't care what league you're playing in.
Oral Hershiser still hold the record over 56 innings.
He still does. Big league level. And he dropped a breaking ball in there. Strike 3. LeMahieu caught looking, and it's really interesting. When DJ strikes out, it's almost half the time looking. 41% of the time he's been caught looking, which is the second highest figure in the National League. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting. It also shows that he trusts his strike zone. And some umpires have bigger strike zones than DJ does. I think that was a strike. That was a well-located curveball backside of the plate.
Dirt ball, and Charlie's going to move up, and then it goes into short right center field, and Charlie will get to third. That's good base running by Blackmon. So it'll be a wild pitch, and then an error on the catcher, Maile.
Rockies are going to have to try to find a way to manufacture a run. Charlie picks a great time to take advantage of a dirt ball. Anytime you see the catcher go down towards his knees, and if you're anticipating it, you go ahead and trust your instincts. Quickly sees the baseball go into the outfield, wastes no time to get to third. Now just any ball on the ground in the infield is a 7-1 baseball game.
At the knees. And that Nolan hop at bat, but it was at the bottom of the zone in the Subaru strike zone.
59 innings by Orel Hershiser is the most scoreless innings consecutively.
Broke Don Drysdale's record when he did it. For me, when we talk about the great records in the history of baseball, that one is up there, especially in the modern section of baseball. I mean, we all know like nobody's going to win 511 games like Cy Young. Games played differently. But 59 straight innings? Kidding me?
The Bulldog, Orel Hershiser. I tried to pitch like him for a brief time in my life when I was
back in high school.
No. I was 1998. I was 9 years old.
So you were the Bulldog when you were 9.
Yeah, baby Bulldog.
One and two on Arenado. Leads the league in ribbies with 71, second in baseball. Last year he led the big leagues with 130 driven in. Rockies down 7-0, 1 out, Blackman at third. And Snell with his 6th strikeout.
This kid's stuff is good. And he lines up on the third base side of the pitching rubber. There's a little bit of deception by throwing across of his body. 3-2 slider down and in. To a guy that does not swing and miss. Wow.
Outside and high. We were discussing this not all that long ago, that the home run rate per game in Major League Baseball is the second highest since the only one higher in history was 2000, somewhere still during the PD era, if you will. It was 2000, the only time it's higher. What else has gone up every single year is the strikeout rate. And there's several reasons from my standpoint. One, we're seeing so many guys like this kid, great young pitchers that have come into the league. And the strikeout is not looked upon with great disdain like it was in the 70s, let's say. It's all about slugging now.
Doing damage and getting on base. You can work a walk, it's fine. Strike out, all right with it, as long as you slug.
The last 9 years, every year the strikeout rate per plate appearance has gone up. 571 in 2008. It's down to 4.76. That's inside. 4.76 this year. Last year it was every 4.9 plate appearances. The year before, 4.91 plate appearances. 2013 every 5.04. So guys are striking out at around 22% of the time this year in Major League Baseball.
And I think when you look at those numbers, managers don't mind the strikeouts if you get the slugging. It's also when do you strike out. If there's a runner at third with 1 out, strike out, it's not good. Strike out, 2 outs, nobody on, not a big deal.
Well, Tampa Bay is an example of that. I mentioned that they're 13th in slugging percentage in baseball. You said they're 7th in home runs, but they're 25th in on-base percentage. And that's a walk to Story for the 2nd time. The Rockies have 2 on for Ryan Rayburn. UC Health is tracking the number of walks and the distance the Rockies earn throughout the season. Start tracking your own steps today to get fit. And with that walk, the Rockies now have strolled to first 289 times. That computes to 26,010 feet, thanks to UC Health. I think that 2-out walk is going to require an enormous conference. But Jim Hickey wanted to chat not only with his young pitcher Blake Snell, but everybody else in the infield. See if Ryan Raburn can come through with 2 outs. Talked to Walt Weiss at the conclusion of this inning.
Hopefully the Rockies are able to score a run or two. And Ryan Raburn, first time he ever faces a pitcher, 244 career average facing him the first time. Second time it jumps all the way up to 283. Raburn struck out looking his first at bat on the check swing.
It's in there 1-1. No magical elixir. You got to swing the bats when you're down by 7. In the air toward right center field, and making the catch out there is Arcia. That'll end the inning. Rockies got their first hit. They leave 2 aboard. We'll go to the 5th with the score 7-0 Rays. Top of the 5th inning, we also go to the Rockies dugout. Walt Weiss kind enough to visit with us. Walt, we prefer to visit with you, obviously, if the score was flipped. Tyler Chatwood, I think it's first time this year. It seemed like he just didn't have it. What did you see from your perspective?
Yeah, command wasn't there tonight. Some big misses, you know, tough counts. He just struggled with command.
Blake Snell, to me, I haven't seen him yet throw, but there's some deception there. Live arm, looks like he's throwing the fastball up in the zone. How do you get your guys to make an adjustment?
Yeah, he got good angle to his stuff, fastball and breaking ball. You know, we got to get him down and not swing at that fastball above the zone, but he's got some deception. He's got a good arm, so we got to have Jordan keep him right there and put something together.
All right, Walt, sounds like a good plan. Thanks for your time.
Thanks. Walt.
All right.
All right, that's Walt Weiss downstairs, and Corey Dickerson will lead things off in the 5th inning for Tampa Bay. Corey, a bloop single in the 3rd. He would come around to score on a double by Kevin Kiermaier. He's 1 for 2, 1 for 3 overall in his return to Coors Field. 4, 5, and 6 against Jordan Lyles here in the 5th. Jordan came on with nobody out and 2 aboard in the 4th inning. Give up an RBI single to Brad Miller with 2 outs. That run was charged to Chatwood. This is popped up in a difficult area, and coming on is Raburn. Good communication there between Raburn and Nolan. I always say that is the scariest play in baseball, when you get a pop-up in quote-unquote no man's land.
As an outfielder, you always try to catch that baseball. We know how difficult it is for the infielder, and as good as Nolan is at catching the ball over his shoulder, it's an outfielder's job to make sure he goes in and saves the infielder from trying to make that play. The other part, whenever you're watching these plays, notice how outfielders will always slide. They're taught to slide, and an infielder's taught to dive or jump. So you try to avoid collisions in that way.
Pierce shatters his bat, and he's now 0 for his last 15. Two outs. That'll bring up Kevin Kiermaier, excuse me. Kiermaier had a double his last time up. Charlie Blackmon with the beard and the mullet. And Roger Bailey writes, there were no beards back in my day. Clean shaven.
Come on. Jeff Reardon had a beard. Remember him? Steve Bedrosian. Played with him, didn't you, Roger? Who else had great beards? Dave Parker had a great beard for a while. Think of any more bearded guys? Bruce Ruffin, he had a beard.
I will say this, it seems like there are more guys now. It seems like you don't get admitted to a bullpen if you're clean shaven. Like persona non grata. 0-1 on Kiermaier. Ball and a strike.
Trying to picture all the bearded.
I couldn't imagine Bailey with a beard though.
Now, babyface assassin. Steve Bedrosian had a great beard, former closer with the Minnesota Twins.
He had a big arm, I know that.
His son, I believe, was pitching with the Anaheim Angels. I'm not sure. I think he may have been traded. You ever grown out a beard, Drew?
I did, not a full beard, no. That's outside. Every once in a while in the off season, I'll do the goatee deal.
That's your go-to?
Yeah, and then my wife usually says get rid of it.
Coca-Cola value packs are still the best deal in town. Available every value game, including this Thursday versus the Atlanta Braves.
Can you name Roger Bailey's hometown and pronounce it correctly? Luke Maley takes inside.
Chattahoochee?
Very nice. Good job. You're really quick on that computer.
It's a country song.
One ball, one strike. Roger Bailey went to Florida State, as did the manager of the Tampa Bay Rays. The kid's a Tampa guy through and through. Grew up to high school in North Tampa. Went on to Florida State, but here's something interesting about Cash. Championships followed this guy. He was in the Little League World Series with North Tampa Little League in '89. 10 years later, he was playing in the College World Series in Omaha with the Seminoles. And then he won a ring in '07 with the Red Sox and '09 with the Yankees.
With a name like Cash, you would assume he's been traded 1,000 times in Major League Baseball. Traded for Cash. This guy in Cash.
I like that.
Yes, you are, Roger. Come on. Yelling to get off my lawn already.
Good pitch by Lyles, and he strikes out Luke Maley. Good inning for Jordan Lyles. Rockies have to get something going offensively. Mark Reynolds will lead it off when we return. Get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. Use the promo code ROXWIN at papajohns.com. Drew Goodman, Ryan Spilborghs, marks down 7-0. Tampa. Rockies have 1 hit. Came last inning. Charlie Blackmon to extend his hitting streak to 11 games. Now it's Mark Reynolds, Nick Hundley, and Brandon Barnes against Blake Snell, who has pitched an exceptional game. Was staked to a big early lead. A run in the first, 5 in the third against Tyler Chatwood.
Starts off Reynolds with an off-speed pitch. Reynolds has been hunting fastball against Snell. Really hasn't had it.
Line shot caught by Pierce, 1 out.
Blake Snell grew up in Seattle, Washington, and I'm sure this weekend when Ken Griffey Jr. retires to the Hall of Fame, he's gonna be really excited. And Snell's dog, as a dog, obviously we had 2 hours during the rain delay to look this stuff up. Is a chocolate lab named Junior.
I think in my time covering Major League Baseball, this ball's in the air to left field, and Dickerson makes the catch. Hundley retired. That by far, not even close, of the guys that you've either read of or inquired of who their favorite player was growing up, Ken Griffey Jr. in a landslide.
Not even close. I had posters of his catches in Detroit. Remember when he robbed a home run in Detroit? I had this huge poster of Ken Griffey Jr. and I think Corey Sullivan talked about the first time he was in the home run derby and turned his hat backwards. Next day at every single Little League field, kids taking batting practice, hat backwards.
Right. Brandon Barnes, strikeout victim his first time. Kid Snell has struck out 6. Threw his curveball there, just missed.
Every kid for a time frame. Remember the Instructo swing? It was that Ken Griffey Jr. swing path. It's basically a T with an arc that they tried to get. Here's a picture of the Instructo swing.
I have that in our barn. I didn't
Teaches,
know that's what it was called.
yeah, it teaches you how to hit the ball straight to the shortstop.
That's why we didn't use it. That's a strikeout, and that'll end the inning. 7 strikeouts. The Rockies go quickly and quietly in the 5th, and 7-0 Tampa Bay. This was a terrific day for a lot of children at Rocky Mountain Hospital. It's the Umps Care Charities. And one of the things they did was bring Build-A-Bears and brightened a lot of spirits today. Dan Iasonia, one of the umpires working this series. There's Dan, and it's so awesome to see. At first base is Paul Emmel. And you have your own, I got it. You dropped something here.
This thing's awesome.
Let's build a dinosaur.
This thing's sweet. And we appreciate it. And you know, often baseball players, you always have such it's a interesting relationship with umpires because it's give and take, and they truly are the fabric of the game. And we talk about scouts and front office guys and people that you don't give them enough credit. And umpires are still part of that same fabric that is special.
Garcia is going to fly out to center field. 1 out. That'll bring up Blake Snell, but great job today by the Umps Care Charities.
And if you do want more information about the Umps Care Charities, it's www.umpscare.com. If you're interested in checking out what else they do.
Blake Snell, and he bounces this to third. He's running hard up the line. He almost got himself a leg hit. 2 outs, and that'll bring up Logan Forsythe. A couple of doubles in 3 trips.
Second baseman, number 11, Logan Forsythe.
The next Fan Friday is July the 22nd, and the first 10,000 fans will receive a pair of Fan Friday Rock Socks.
Third inning of work for Jordan Lyles. And the former Padre infielder Logan Forsythe takes strike 1. 2 doubles, and he grounded into a 6-4-3. To left field, Rayburn's got it, and he'll run it on in. A 1-2-3, 6th inning for Lyles. It remains 7-0. Ball on Root Sports is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Late start in this one. A rain delay of 2 hours to begin the evening. Tampa Bay, 7-0 lead. And we found a Griffey jersey.
There's going to be a lot of those June the 24th in Cooperstown. Those in Piazza. July the 24th. Missed it by a month.
I was going to say, moving backwards in time. Jordan Lyles going to hit for himself, despite the Rockies in the 6th inning down by 7 runs. Question of preserving your bullpen.
Sure.
You're still listening. Get back in. It's going to be more than one guy, and I think that's what Walt's thinking. They're going to have to lop together a bunch of hits.
For Lyles, 31 pitches to get through 3 innings.
Griffey Jr. took a lot of people deep, Roger. Don't feel bad about the slam he hit off you. And it didn't count anyhow, even spring training.
Spring training, who cares? Set him up for the season.
You're just trying to get him right.
He's a rare talent. I mentioned a story earlier with Jerry Harrison Jr. with the shift and Curt Schilling. Jerry Harrison told me when he was with Cincinnati, they're in Miami, and Ken Griffey Jr. is watching part of the interruption. And Tony Kornheiser and Will Bond are talking about how easy play for Snell. That Griffey's stuck at 599 home runs. He's not going to get it. He's old. And Griffey's sitting there watching the video, and Jerry's sitting next to him. He's like, oh, man. Ken Griffey goes, today's the day. Get one today. Hit 600 today in Florida. Jerry, who's a leadoff hitter, he's like, I better get on base because I want to hug him when he comes to home plate. First inning, Ken Griffey Jr., boom, 600 home runs. He decided that day he was going to hit a homer.
Did Jerry get on?
Yeah, he was at home plate. It's a great picture of the two of them.
Kind of like those guys who call their own shots, huh? 1 out. Blackman has the only hit for the Rockies tonight. Single in the 4th inning. Roger Bailey done a great job on our Twitter account tonight. The former Rocky pitcher. More impressive is Griffey's mom and dad. Great people. You know where it came from. I can't imagine. And you're gonna, you love being with your kids, and they're smaller right now. And I get today. I was at a field throwing BP to Zach, my middle. Get so much joy from all 3 of my kids playing ball and watching them play and working with them, etc. I cannot imagine you're on a big league diamond and you look to your left in the case of Ken Griffey Sr. and there's his son playing next to him in the major leagues. And then they both hit home runs in the same game. I mean, it's just crazy stuff.
That's crazy.
2 strikes on Blackman. And a foul tip, it's held. And that is the 8th strikeout for Blake Snell.
Snell has been impressive tonight. He has used all his pitches. He has been very effective for a young kid. Showed no signs of any fear of this Rockies lineup.
DJ ground ball to short. He was caught looking. There are stories about Junior when he went to Moeller High School in Cincinnati, and it's cranked out a lot of big-time athletes through the years. The Larkin brothers went through there. And I guess beyond the right field fence, and I mean way beyond the right field fence, was one of the buildings as part of the school, and he would regularly launch them, on top of that building.
.284 career average in 22 years, 630 home runs, 1997 MVP, 10-time Gold Glover.
Everything just looked effortless. 1-2. It's kind of how it's looked for Blake Snell tonight. It's kind of I'm sure going to be written in Tampa as, you know, his real coming out party type of start, the way he has dominated the Rockies this evening at Coors Field.
It's the same thing we've seen with the John Gray when he understands that you can steal strikes early in an account with off-speed pitches. We've seen a lot of swings and misses, 0-0 with a slider or a changeup. Even behind the count, 2-0 count, seen several off-speed pitches that have swung the count back in his favor, thrown some of the Rocky hitters off of the fastball.
Three and two on LeMahieu. That's the third walk issued by Snell. Pitches in. You wonder if Kevin Cash will let him go beyond this inning. With all young pitchers, every organization does it. They try to limit pitch count. He got skipped not all that long ago, and he's got pushed back to late in the rotation after the All-Star break, again in an effort to limit innings.
104 pitches has been a season high for Blake Snell. Now he's at Cleveland, June the 21st.
With the strike zone 14 out of 21 times with the first delivery. Here's the 0-1. The only scoring opportunity for the Rockies came in the fourth inning. Blackmon with a base hit leading off the inning. Again, that's the Rockies' only hit. And he went to third on a wild pitch eventually, and then a throwing error by the catcher, Luke Maile. With one out, Nolan struck out. Story walked, and then Rayburn hit a fly ball to right to end the scoring opportunity. 1-2.
Anytime you see a left-handed pitcher set up on the far third base side of the rubber, it's creating angle. As you watch Snell stride towards home plate, he closes himself off and creates a crossfire.
2-2.
His AAA pitching coach, Kyle Snyder, in Durham worked extremely hard with Blake Snell. See that third base side of the rubber he's standing on. As he starts his windup, he will crossfire and step towards first and then throw back across his body, creating a really difficult angle.
And Snell, the #1 prospect in Tampa's organization, and the number 12 prospect overall in baseball. Trevor Story on deck. 3-2 on Nolan. And that'll end the inning. A strikeout of Arenado, his 9th strikeout. 7-0 Tampa. question and answer. The results. We wanted to know who had the highest average fastball velocity this year with the Rockies. Carlos Estevez, 61% felt he had the highest, and you're absolutely right at 97.2. Castro at 96.1 would have been second. John Gray is third at 95.3. Brad Miller's up there, seventh inning. It's fourth inning of work for Jordan Lyles in relief of Chatwood, and that's off the end of the bat foul. Miller has driven in 2 tonight, double in the third and a single in the fourth. He's 2 for 3. Brad Miller out of Clemson. They've turned out some terrific players. An old friend of yours, Jeff Baker. Yeah, shake and bake. Thought he'd come back for one more year. Damage he did in his career against left-handed pitching. But it's out of the game this year.
Out of the game. It's close to 10 years, too.
He played on a terrific left side of the infield when he was at Clemson. Khalil Green and Jeff Baker on the left side. That any good?
That was a great team. I remember in college, enjoyed watching that team.
1-2, and Barnes coming quickly. He'll get there. That almost got caught up in the light bank. Good catch by Brandon Barnes. 1 out. Evan Longoria will be next. Got the measurement on that home run that Longoria hit in the third, the 2-run shot up on the concourse. 462 feet.
That's a long ways.
He also had an RBI single in the first.
Good player.
He's a good player. It's fun to watch his BP because it's focused BP, but it's not home run derby BP. And he has easy power. He doesn't lift with his leg. He doesn't have violent hand movement. He's just strong. He creates a lot of leverage for a guy that's a good sized guy, but you won't be confused with Giancarlo Stanton either physically.
Him and I spent some time together. He's talking about his baseball path. Coming out of high school, didn't really have many colleges looking at him. He wanted to go to USC, but he was too small. Thought he was too short. And he started looking at the different junior colleges around where he's from. He's from Downey. He was looking at Cypress, where Brandon Barnes went. Ended up picking Rio Hondo Community College.
Cypress also where Corey Sullivan went.
Exactly. And spent the time chose Rio Hondo because the coach there said he'll be able to play shortstop. Obviously, a couple of years later, transfers to Long Beach State. Ends up being Tampa Bay's 3rd overall pick in 2006. And as they say, the rest is history. It's interesting looking at the Tampa Bay Rays roster and find out how many guys. Good strikeout pitch by Jordan Lyles. How many guys went to a junior college before they ever transferred? It's a lot of them. See the off-speed pitch thrown by Jordan Lyles. Great changeup. Jordan learned that pitch last year on the disabled list. Started fiddling around with different ways to hold the changeup, and that's how he's holding it now. You get a lot of downward action with that pitch.
Next stat that we're going to throw out at you with Corey Dickerson at the plate surprised me. Do you know that Corey is 5th on the Rockies list of starts in left field? 5th most starts in left field. You'd think Corey was here long enough to be 5th. Part of the reason is the Rockies had a couple of stalwarts. Matt Holliday's #1, 679 starts in left field. Dante Bichette, that's not a surprise, #2, 539. Cargo, 419, is 3rd. You'll never guess who's #4. In the interest of time, That's a base hit the other way for Dickerson. I'll give you 2 guesses.
Give me 2 guesses.
And the reason is because you don't really remember him as a left fielder. I think of him more as a center fielder. And he had a really good season for the Rockies here before you came up.
Jay Payton.
You got it, dude, on the first one. Atta baby. Jay Payton's 4th with 175 starts in left field. And then Corey Dickerson. He started 170 ball games in left field. Jay Payton hit 29 home runs for the Rockies one year, and 15 were out on the road. Because everybody said, oh, Jay Payton hit, no, you know, Jay wasn't a big guy. He was really strong, though. And 15 of the 29 came out on the road. Jay Payton, we're speaking of college teams that had great teams.
Oh, yes.
Jay Payton played with Jason Varitek and Nomar Garcia-Parra at Georgia Tech. And the best player of the threesome in college was Jay Payton. Jay hit like 6,000 in college. This ball is a base hit up the middle for Steve Pearce. Now 2 on as Dickerson will go first to third with 2 outs. Kevin Kiermaier will come up. I think Jay literally, I think he led the nation in hitting at 450 or 460 something.
Steve Pearce has been a great story in baseball. Really rebounded. He's an 8th round draft pick for the Pittsburgh Pirates and nothing more than a utility guy. Had the opportunity 2012, signed with Baltimore, bounced around between several teams, goes back to Baltimore. And in 102 games from 2014 with Baltimore, hit 21 home runs.
Kiermaier gets jammed, and that'll end the inning as DJ throws him out. A couple of singles with 2 outs, 2 men left. Jordan Lyles done a terrific job, but the Rockies down 7-0. Kurt Kubota pitching performance of the night. Sometimes you got to tip your cap. Blake Snell was just terrific. He had a good breaking ball tonight. He's got a quick arm. He dominated the Rockies. 1 hit in 6 innings. Walked 3. He struck out 9. And he is gone after 6 innings. But a tremendous performance by Blake Snell, who's in line for his 2nd career victory. He'll give way to Matt Andriese. Matt Andriese. Interesting that he enters the ball game for Tampa on a night where his very close friend Tyler Chatwood started. They went to the same high school in Redlands, California. It's a pretty loaded team with those 2 guys throwing the baseball.
Were they on the same CIF team?
Yes, they were. I believe so. Trevor Story at the plate. Trevor reached both plate appearances against Snell with walks. It's a cutter off the plate, 2-0. This is the 16th appearance for Andriese. 8 out of the pen, 8 as a starter. Less hits than innings pitched. Almost a strikeout per inning as well for Andriese, the guy they like.
They should. His stuff is good. A lot of deception. Now, Andriese sets up on the first base side of the rubber and cross fires. 230 batting average against him, 277 on base percentage. Doing a great job keeping people off the bases. Trevor Story rifles one in the right.
Second hit for the Rockies. Trevor aboard here in the 7th.
The Tampa Bay Rays are playing the shift. Second baseman down left side of the field, so right side of the field is wide open. Trevor's short swing hits the ball hard to right field.
Ryan Rayburn a strikeout and a fly ball to right field this evening. Andriese falls behind 2-0. Rockies came into the ballgame 6-5 against the American League this year, trying to produce their first winning season against the junior circuit since 2011. Between 2009 and 2011, the Rockies were the best National League team against the American League. In fact, there was one year there was only 2 teams that were above 500 against the American League. It was the Rockies and the Mets. And the American League has dominated for more than a decade in the interleague matchups. They've dominated the All-Star game. Last time the National League won the season series was 2004. Have fun with this pop-up. Garcia makes the catch, 1 out.
Number 12, Moreno.
We'd like to welcome all of our Xfinity viewers from Salt Lake City, Utah. Thank you very much for watching the Rockies on Root Sports. Be sure to tell us where you happen to be watching from this evening on Twitter at @RootSports_RM. Spent a fair amount of time over in Salt Lake City in the winter months doing college basketball, and without fail always run into a number of fans that follow the Rockies from the other side of the hills. A ton of fans of the Rockies in Utah. It's one of the benefits of being the only team in the Mountain Time Zone. We've talked about it many times. A ton of Rockies fans from New Mexico north up into the Dakotas, and to the west into Utah, western Nebraska, Wyoming, of course.
I always enjoyed playing baseball in Salt Lake City. Salt Lake City has a minor league team, the Bees. That's what the Anaheim Angels.
Were you still playing for the Rockies the year that the final spring training game for the Rockies was in Salt Lake City?
I may have been.
I believe it was against Seattle.
Pretty hazy at times during that time frame. Just life in general. Salt Lake City and spring training games don't really stand out in my brain.
I understand.
Unless I gave up a home run to Ken Griffey Jr.
Garcia again. He's going to make the catch on a towering pop-up, and Reynolds is retired. That'll bring up Nick Hundley.
We always talk about how the Tampa Bay Rays, how they've been able to stockpile and get great players. Logan Forsythe, player that was traded from San Diego to Tampa Bay, well, part of that deal. Brought Andriese. That was part of a deal in 2014 that sent him from San Diego to these Tampa Bay Rays.
Nick, a strikeout and a fly ball to left field. A reminder, no television tomorrow afternoon. The series finale will pick up again on Thursday evening when the Rockies open up that 4-game set against Atlanta. We'll have all 4 of those, and then it's off to Baltimore, Maryland. Looking forward to that. It's been a couple years since the Rockies played at Camden Yards. Just weird with the schedule, Spilly. The Rockies have played at Camden a fair number of times over the last decade or so. Played at Fenway a bunch, going back to that 07 season, magical season. Rockies took 2 or 3 at Fenway during the regular season. They've played at Tampa exactly 1 time. That was 2004. The Rockies were swept at the Trop. They have not been back since.
It's one of the only fields I've never gone to. Never been there, never as a player, never as a fan.
It's easy for me to say this because I've been there, and you want to touch as many as you can as a player.
I can avoid that one.
But, if you got to miss one, not the worst one to miss. Hundley strikes out, and Andriese, after giving up the single of Trevor Story, gets the next 3. So we go to the 8th, 7-0 Tampa Bay.
Denver as we head to the 8th. Tampa Bay up 7-0 after a lengthy rain delay before this game. Jake McGee is coming in for the Rockies to start this 8th inning. Of course, he was involved in the deal with Corey Dickerson. And Jake told me today that Corey Dickerson stayed in his house in Port Charlotte, and we hear this a lot, and Dickerson was leasing a place in Scottsdale, so they each took each other's homes. And I was talking to Jake a little bit more about this house in Port Charlotte, and he said that the reason why he bought a house there, and that's where the Rays train in Port Charlotte, Florida, was because it's so expensive in the spring to rent a house. It just made sense to buy one, so he bought it. He's renting it to Corey Dickerson. He did that for spring training. Now, during the season, guys, the Charlotte Stone Crabs play in the Florida State League, and then there's the Gulf Coast Rays, so there's players. So what he does is he rents it out to ball players in the Rays organization. He's done that for the past few years when he's playing in the big league. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it's not a flop house, but it's a baseball house, you know?
Like a slumlord type thing?
I don't know, you get 4 or 5 guys in there, right? What, you get a couple hundred from them? Pay the mortgage off? You're all good, right?
So he's running a racket.
Call it even. It's baseball play. You know, it's kind of good. He's giving back.
He's taken.
Here's Luke Maley, and the former Ray on the mound is Jake McGee.
Last night was an important night for Jason Mott, trusting that fastball for giving up the triple to Longoria. Saw a lot of different arm angles, and I felt like last night Mott got back to what he was, rearing back and throwing that fastball. I think same thing for tonight. Low leverage situation for Jake McGee just to get that fastball back. We've been documenting how much the velocity for Jake McGee has dropped early in May from 94 miles an hour to a dip all the way in early July, where he's averaging 90 miles an hour on the fastball.
It's a ground ball from the catcher, Maley, to short, 1 out.
MLB DV.Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, is now available. Join the millions of subscribers who watch every out-of-market game live and in true HD on over 400 devices.
Stephen Geyer's going to pinch hit for Arcia for defensive reasons. And also the fact that he hits righty and Arcia hits lefty, now facing McGee. Well, this is how special Jake McGee was to Tampa. Between 2010 and 2015, he appeared in 297 games. That's the most games in club history for a pitcher. And his 2.77 ERA is the lowest of any Ray with at least 200 innings pitched. The opposition in his time there hit just 202 against him, which is also the lowest batting average against. So, you know, Jake McGee had a brilliant career in Tampa. The other person that came in the trade in that Corey Dickerson deal was German Marquez, who's 8-5 with a 288 for Hartford in 18 starts. He's 3rd in the Eastern League in ERA. So Marquez is a big get for the Rockies. This deal wouldn't have happened without the Rockies getting Marquez. 2 outs. And there's the trade once again. So McGee and Marquez, and the other player that went to, or was involved and went to Tampa, was young third baseman by the name of Kevin Padlo, who showed a lot of promise last year, a lot of power promise in the Rockies organization, and he's still hitting some home runs, but he has struggled in A-ball this year with the batting average at .212. Corey Dickerson tonight's thrown out a couple of hits. Loop single to right and a sharp single to left his last time up. This is Andriese getting to swing the bat himself. And a 1-2-3 inning for Jake McGee in the 8th. 7-0 Tampa.
Star Wars night is this Saturday, July 23rd, with the pregame parade for fans in costume, and the first 20,000 fans receive a Charlie Blackmon bobblehead. I want one of those. Rebellion, Charlie Blackmon. Big Star Wars guy, Drew?
No. I can tell you a story. Star Wars came out in 1977, and it was the only year I went to a camp. My dad was taking the bar exam, and he wanted peace and quiet at home while he studied for the bar exam.
They sent you to Star Wars.
No, I went at the sleepaway camp, right? And there was this girl, I guess, at that, I was like 14, kind of, sort of dating at camp. And there was a group of us that went to Star Wars, right? So we go, and I wasn't into it. So about halfway through, we left. I have never seen Star Wars in its entirety. I know that just crushed you. You should see the reaction on Spilly's face when I told him that. Not my thing. Sorry, dude. You all right?
That hurts. Have I ever told you that my mom, Santa Barbara, worked for a company that was in the Star Wars program? So years and years ago in the 80s, the United States had a Star Wars program, and her program helped build the solar panels on the Hubble telescope. So when I went to visit my mom, she told me that she worked for Star Wars. I went looking for this Millennium Falcon, which is this awesome aircraft in Star Wars, and they didn't have it there. So I said, well, where's the lightsabers? And there's no lightsabers, but there's the Hubble telescope. That's pretty sweet. Could take pictures of the solar system.
Yeah, it's a rather powerful telescope. 2 and 2 on Barnes. How old were you at the time?
25.
I knew that. I was just clarifying.
I was 8 years old.
That crushed you at 8.
Still crushed.
Andrews' pitch is fouled off. Barnes a couple of strikeouts tonight. That has been familiar. The Rockies have struck out 10 times in this game. 9 times against Blake Snell. Yeah, if you're just bouncing around and joining us, it was the first truly rough outing for Tyler Chatwood this year. He gave up 5 runs in the third after giving up a run in the first. That's a terrific running catch by Logan Forsythe, 1 out.
One of those two between Logan Forsythe and Kevin Kiermaier, they were going to catch this baseball. Watch Logan just take off and run. That's impressive, especially when you're looking at a second baseman going over the shoulder. Kiermaier, the Gold Glove winner in center field. That's the way you do it. That's how you're supposed to cover ground. Run like you're a sprinter. Exactly what Logan Forsythe just did. Impressive play.
Christian Adames pinch hitting, takes ball 1. Left field corner and out of play. We got to make that play out there, fellas. Brought your gloves and everything. Got to make that play.
No, don't throw it back on the field.
He had no intention of doing that.
Tricked me.
Rockies have been out hit 11-2 this evening. If you don't put a marker up, it'll be the 6th time they've been shut out this year.
First time at Coors Field this season.
They will be. Or it would be. better way to put it. Ground ball to Pierce. Good lead to Andriese. 2 outs. Well, big thanks to Roger Bailey for joining us tonight. What a great experience. Roger writes, thanks for letting me interact via Twitter for my first time. Drew and Spilly, I'll see you on a T-box soon. Good man, Roger Bailey. Roger was doing stuff for us a few years back on the TV side.
Well, the last time the Rockies have been shut out at Coors Field was July the 21st, 2015 against the Texas Rangers.
This ball hammered to the right field corner. Charlie's going to have his second hit of the night. And the Rockies have their first extra base hit. Blackmon doubles with 2 outs in the 8th.
Charlie gets a pitch that he can handle and he turns on it. Maybe late, but Charlie's still grinding his at-bats away, making sure he doesn't give up an at-bat. See the great timing that Charlie's had all season long. His foot starts to go down once Andriese's arm starts to go down. It's the timing for a guy with a leg kick.
DJ at the plate. LeMahieu's 0 for 2 and a walk. Outside. Blake Snell tonight against 6 shutout innings, allowing 1 hit, walked 3, struck out 9. It's the story tonight for Tampa in addition to their early offense. Snell came into the ball game the 2nd-ranked left-handed pitching prospect in baseball to a guy the Rockies have seen already, Urias, with the Dodgers, the 19-year-old from Mexico. 2 balls and a strike.
Urias, a fellow single-digit pitcher, number 7 with the Dodgers.
Yeah, you're right. This is rolled to shortstop. Miller's got it. Bats his glove once and throws out LeMahieu to end the inning. Blackmon stranded at second base. 8 complete. 7-0 Tampa Bay. This is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo customers get your 2-for-1 club level tickets by visiting wellsfargo.com/Rockies. And by GMC. It's been on Tampa Bay tonight, game 2 of this 3-game set. 7-0 they lead. We go to center field. Here's Jenny Cavnar. Jenny.
All right, Drew, the Rockies had that nice mix of offense yesterday. Tonight, the offense goes dormant. Just 3 hits, 5 total base runners for the Rockies, and the threat of being shut out at home for the first time this year. Blake Snell, he proved to be just too much for Colorado. We'll break his performance down coming up on the Toyota postgame show. For now, we'll send it back to you, Drew and Spilly.
Jenny, we thank you. On the mound for the Rockies now is Gonzalez Germain. He'll throw the top of the 9th. Nolan Arenado has come out of the ball game. Christian Adames will take his place. He pinch hit last inning. There's Christian giving Nolan a little bit of time off his feet. And the fastball's low. Ball 1 on Logan Forsythe. Forsythe 2 for 4 tonight, the leadoff man for the Rays. There's always a guy, Spilly, from travel ball at different ages on up that you always looked on and said, man, that guy's got a rubber arm. For the Rockies, it's Gonzalez Germain.
And you know every time with the Colorado Rockies, you're going to need somebody just based on pitching at Coors Field and knowing that sometimes games will go sideways. For years, it was Matt Belisle, somebody that was going to get the baseball 70+ times. You have to have a guy like that on the Colorado Rockies team and in their bullpen.
Changeup's low, 3-2. Well, Matt, for me, and I think for you, one of the all-time Rockies. You know, there were better players, former starter, guys that worked in the 9th inning, saved more games. But Matt was as steady in the clubhouse, steady in that bullpen, great leader. He, along with LaTroy Hawkins, for a good period of time. And Matt's still pitching, man. He's with the Nationals.
My favorite part, Belisle, before he would walk out. This is right after national anthem. Everybody we meet, dugouts, and Matt would always have his pockets, his jacket, stuffed with carrots.
Carrots, good for the eyesight.
And I would always reach in his pocket and get 1 carrot before the game. But it's those things. That's what you remember from the game. I don't remember certain games playing in Salt Lake City during spring training. I remember stealing carrots out of Matt Belisle's jacket every day before a game.
So you could get carrots from Belisle, and you could get seeds from Holiday.
Yep.
Brad Miller takes ball 2. 2-0. Miller single and a double, couple RBIs tonight. Also, he lined out to left. 2 for 4. Belisle threw a couple days ago for the Nationals. 2 scoreless innings. So professional, takes great care of himself. Originally a high draft pick of the Atlanta Braves. Then he went on to Cincinnati and just worked out better for Matt coming out of the bullpen than as a starter. Here's the 3-0, and that's ball 4.
Another former Rocky, another one of the clubhouse greats. My favorite teammates, Yorvit Torrealba, turned 38 today.
He's one of my favorite Rockies, I think, for all Rockies fans, because Yorvit, with those clubs you were on, and he always ended up, and this is not a knock on Chris Iannetta, but when it got to September, he all of a sudden took over the starting role and into the postseason, and he brought a fire. He brought a discernible passion, and it was on display frequently. And he was, as you said, popular in the clubhouse. Just a great guy to be around.
Well, and you mentioned the fire. He was probably the guy that out of everybody on the 2007, 2008, 2009 team for the biggest at bat on the team, who do you want taking it? Is it Tulo? Is it Brad Hopp? Is it Holiday? Is it Helton? Majority of guys would probably say, like Yorvita hit. He just had a knack. He had a knack for the dramatic.
Yeah, he had some big hits, didn't he?
Really did.
Longoria bounces it to short, and there's no one. That's what happens sometimes with the shift, because of where DJ was. He's thinking, I may have to field the ground ball, and so there was no one for Story to flip to.
Check out where DJ is. He's on the other side of the bag, giving chase. Normally that's a 6-4-3 double play. So far tonight, the Rockies really have been beat by the shift. Several of the Tampa Bay Rays have hit against it. Even in the first inning, Longoria base hit to right field, which would have been a ground ball to second base. Some nights it's great, sometimes it just doesn't work as often.
Here's Dickerson up high, ball one. Couple hits for Corey tonight. 11 hits, 7 runs for Tampa. No runs, just 3 hits for the Rockies. We were discussing at different times the last couple of days what had to happen on the 7-game homestand for the Rockies. And you're playing big league opponents just because they're struggling. I mean, they look at the Rockies the same way and say, oh, this club's under 500. We have to, you know, make hay against them. But with the Rockies playing at home, I mean, they need a really big week. Started well last night, 7-4. Looks like tonight's going to be a clunker. That will leave them 5 games left. The series finale against Tampa tomorrow, and then 4 against the struggling Braves. And you got to find a way. You know it's Spilly, and Walt hasn't shied away from saying these games are all crucial. It's, you know, everything's of heightened importance now. Tonight, game number 93. You can't just go 3-2 the rest of the week.
No, and to Tampa Bay's credit, Snell was filthy.
Yeah.
That's a tough pitcher. No matter what Tampa Bay's record is, he was a nasty pitcher. Tomorrow, arguably the better pitcher for their staff that just hasn't lived up to it this season, Chris Archer. Doesn't make it very easy for the Rockies to go out there and just go out and take and sweep a series. And then when you have the Atlanta Braves coming back, probably going to see Forsythe, and you're probably going to see, not Forsythe, Fultonevich, and you're probably going to see Teheran again.
Yep. That's the matchup tomorrow, Chris Archer and Jorge De La Rosa. Of course, De La's been pitching excellent baseball. Dickerson pulls this to right, fair ball into the corner, and he is going to drive home Miller. And Corey's had a nice return in his first start against his former mates. He has a 3-hit ball game.
We have seen this swing so many times before, and Corey with the career average well over 350 at home. See the changeup down and in. Almost in the spot that Corey likes it, the high leg kick, the finish. And you look back to that play, ended up being a 6-3 from Longoria, but that's a 6-4-3 inning double play. Get the base hit, and that's a run tagged on to you. That's the life of a reliever, where at the end of the day, you look at the box score and you look at how Marquez did or Gonzalez did, and you said, oh, he gave up a run. Look a little bit closer, numbers might not be what they are.
Steve Pearce, a base hit in the 7th. 1-1 misses. 2-1. Tampa during the last 29 games has averaged just over 3 runs a game. Got 8 tonight, and this ball's tagged to left center. They're going to tack on 2 more. 2-run home run, Steve Pearce, his 10th of the year. And now it is 10-0.
Pearce has been a welcomed addition to the Tampa Bay Rays, and you just mentioned not being able to score a lot of runs. Well, part of the reason this guy's been away from the team for a while with the pulled hamstring. Pearce has been about 54 points better than league average offensively. Look at the overall 933 OPS, slugging over 766. That ball got out in a hurry.
And this is in the air to center field. Charlie's got it. Kiermaier is retired. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th inning. 10-0 Tampa Bay. They tack 3 more on. Sports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more runs in a game. Daniel Descalso is going to hit here in the pitcher spot. It's where Nolan Arenado was. Nolan came out of the ball game last half inning. Get him off his feet, get him prepared for tomorrow afternoon. 3rd inning of work from Matt Andriese. Two 2-0 on Descalso. Story on deck. Earlier, Spilly, we were talking about the fact that the Rockies have only been to Tampa 1 time. That was in 04. This is going to Pearce. 1 out. Later on this season, the Padres will go to Rogers Center to see Tulo and the Blue Jays. That'll be the first time that San Diego's ever played in Toronto. And at that point in time, every team in baseball will have visited every other city in baseball.
The whole history of the game. Every other team.
Well, since '97.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that will complete it. But it took a long time for San Diego to visit Toronto, and it's been at least a dozen years since the Rockies have gone to Tampa. And next year, you got to figure with the rotation again, the Rockies will face the Central in the American League. So it'd be unlikely. Could be a scheduling quirk, but it'd be unlikely that the Rockies will play Tampa next year. And every other year now, I'm sure fans of the Rockies have noticed that the Rockies, I put this in air quotes, everybody, their regional rivalry, their natural rivalry, is either the Houston Astros or the Texas Rangers. So the Rockies always play a 2-2. I call it the Texas two-step with either Houston. That's what they had last year. They also played Texas last year. But this year it's the Rangers. They play 2 at home, then 2 in Texas in Arlington. And then next year they'll play the Astros again. 2 strikes on Story. Trevor's had a good night. 2 walks and a base hit to right field. The Rockies with just 3 hits. Charlie Blackmon has the other 2. 4th inning single and an 8th inning double. Charlie extending his hitting streak to 11 games.
I always found that the late starts, my body took a while to just get reamped to the time frame. And just remember late in the game, once it started creeping to past 11 o'clock, it was a mental grind.
I think mentally the Rockies got knocked out of this one early when Tampa put a 5 spot up in the 3rd inning. Not only was it 6-0, but Blake Snell was dealing. And I know you're referencing the 2-hour rain delay initially. And what was a little bit different about this rain delay, sometimes, you know, you see it coming and there's no batting practice on the field and it's kind of inclement in the late afternoon. It's anything but. It was hot, and both teams hit on the field. That wasn't interrupted. This ball crushed to center field, and it is gone. And the Rockies avert the shutout. Trevor Story has hit his 23rd, and he has his 60th RBI.
It's a great day for Trevor Story. Perfect on the day. 2 walks, a single, and now a home run. Grinding throughout the entire night. Tip your cap to Trevor for grinding through tonight. Because it's got late, 2-hour delay. Still doesn't stop him from getting on top of the baseball and driving it out. And when he hits it, he hits it.
Ryan Rayburn swings and misses. 443 feet on that home run by Story. Again, his 23rd of the year. I was talking to Corey Dickerson about Story before the ball game, and obviously knows Trevor well and was spring training last year with him. And he said nothing he's doing has surprised me. He said he was telling some of his Tampa teammates, he goes, that guy's one of the strongest guys I've ever met in baseball. And you know, you look at his body, and you know he's lean, and he's talked about his deadlifting 515. Has a big squat. He just is a powerful guy and produces great bat speed.
And you can hear the bat speed. It's not the room through the zone, it's the pop that you hear off the bat.
2-2 on Rayburn.
Loose hands that Trevor talks about, keeping his hands nice and loose, whipping that bat through the zone. You mentioned the squat. Get your power and your bat speed through your legs.
Rayburn goes down, and there's 2 outs in the 9th inning, and that'll bring up Mark Reynolds.
Third baseman, number 12, Mark Reynolds.
Rookie home run record 28 for the Rockies. Willeen Rosario in 2012. Trevor Story has 23 now. More home runs than any other shortstop in baseball. You know, I believe second on that list now is Trevor Simeon. He's really putting together Marcus Simeon. He's put together a really nice year for Oakland.
Doing it in Oakland, that's not an easy place to hit some home runs. Chris Davis, another guy with the Milwaukee Brewers that was traded to Oakland, putting up some huge power numbers in Oakland as well.
He hit a bomb last night, and Simeon's cleaned up the defense considerably. Ron Washington's getting a lot of credit for helping him with Oakland, because he had a rough year with the glove.
Really rough
last season.
Rough year.
1-2 on Reynolds. Matt Andriese, the only other pitcher used tonight after Blake Snell went 6 shutout, allowing just 1 hit. And that'll end the ball game. The strikeout of Reynolds. And the Rays win it 10-1. They snap their 11-game road losing streak. And Matt Andriese will get a save. The last Ray to have a 3-inning save was Matt Andriese more than a year ago, interestingly enough. Snell gets the victory. He's 2-4, his second big league victory. And Tyler Chatwood takes the loss. He is 8-6. Here's our Jimmy John's delivery of the game. Well, it was Blake Snell, who had a great arsenal going. Got a quick arm. The fastball was 93 to 95. And he had a good curveball as well. See why Blake Snell is such a well thought of prospect. All Tampa tonight. They win it 10-1. Story as the Rockies on the board in the 9th inning. Corey Dickerson threw out 3 hits as well for Tampa Bay. Again, 10-1. The final, Tampa Bay snapping that 11-game road losing streak. And for more details on this one, we go to center field. Here's Jen.
Thanks, Drew Story. The lone bright spot for the Rockies, Dickerson's return. We'll discuss that coming up on the Toyota postgame show and what went wrong for Colorado. We'll be right back.